now listening to the Zay Moore Podcast.
I want to know what Zay thinks
There's a
about
few
that.
things that we got to address.
Black people got the swag. Black people set the trends. We are the culture. We got a reality star for our president. It's insane. Even if they try to erase black history out of schools, it's not going to erase black history. Because we've been here. Kendrick Lamar definitely beat Drake in that battle. Hands down. At the end of the day, I'm going to keep it real with my people. Because if we don't keep it real with each other, who will?
What is going on? It's your boy Zay Moore. Today is July 5th, 2025, and I want to thank y'all for listening to episode 2 of the Zay Moore Podcast. Got to stop and thank everybody who supported me on episode 1, who listened, who shared. Definitely was appreciated. Episode 1 was really me just laying the foundation, essentially giving y'all a inside look into the angle that I'm going to be approaching a lot of the topics that we'll be discussing on the Zay Moore Podcast. So I hope everyone felt welcome and enjoyed that first episode. But this is episode 2, and I wanted to start off strong. So today we're going to be talking about 3 topics that I know y'all have heard about or has come across your timeline one way or another. That is the Sean Diddy Combs trial update. You know, we're going to talk about where things are now and what things are looking like for Sean in the future. We're going to talk about the big, beautiful bill, the bill that President Trump, I hate to even say that word in front of his name, so let's just say Trump, the bill that Trump just signed and who it benefits and how it's going to affect certain classes of people, and the explosive Tyler Perry lawsuit. I know y'all heard about that one. So let's dive in. All right, let's start with what's going on with Sean Diddy Combs and the Sean Diddy Combs courtroom saga. The jury acquitted him on racketeering, conspiracy, and both sex trafficking charges, but convicted Sean on 2 counts of transportation for prostitution. He remains jailed due to the judge denying his bail due to flight risk and danger. Had a lot of people writing in saying that they were scared. He's sentenced for October 3rd with a July 8th pre-sentencing hearing. Prosecutors want 4 to 5 years. Defense pushing for about 2. So now here we are, and we have a divide, right? We have people who feel like justice was not served, and people like Cassie Ventura and all the other people who have stories involving Diddy, you know, they were failed. Then we have other people who feel like, you know, this whole courtroom saga has just been a big mess of sex and baby oil and bodily fluids, and they don't feel like the man should be jailed for being a freak. I mean, that's really what I've been hearing, right? But I want to shed light a little bit on the celebration piece of it, because what exactly are we celebrating, right? And again, right, in no means did I want Diddy to go down and rot. Like, that's just not how I was looking at the situation. When you look at the overall situation, well, for me, like, what I've learned is that Diddy was a very disturbed person, right, from childhood. There were a lot of things stemmed in him that he did not handle, and his mother wasn't a help either, right? But blackmail, domestic violence, you know, attempting to blow up cars and shit, none of that is okay. You feel me? You're a music producer. You're not the Godfather. So a lot of that shit was just unnecessary to me and was just a power tactic, you know, and that's really what it was. And, you know, he definitely didn't learn that just out of the blue. You know, he came into the industry where, you know, since the 1940s, Hollywood has used power tactics. So, hey, you feel me? You can't beat him, so join him. And I really feel like that's what happened with Diddy. We got similar cases like this with other people who have, you know, different skin tones out, just say, like the 2 freaks who were running Abercrombie and Fitch, right? That story didn't get not near as all of the media coverage as Diddy's did, but that's another topic for another day. But yeah, you know, regardless of how we feel about it, it was the jurors who claimed that the evidence, not the celebrity, drove their verdict. So you got to think about that, the evidence, not the celebrity. So that means that after how long and how drawn out this was, they still felt like there wasn't enough evidence to convict Diddy on some of the more serious charges that he was facing, like the racketeering. I'll say all we can do in a situation like this is send positive energy, right? None of us are in the situation. You know, I hope everyone that is involved in this situation gets the help that they need, gets the healing that they need. But yeah, man, good luck to Diddy on that. I want to talk about this big, beautiful bill that Trump just signed. It's MAGA economics in full display, y'all. That's all it is, and definitely is going to be bringing down one class of people while bringing up another. I want to go to Fox News 10 in Mobile, Alabama for the story, and then I'll come right back with my commentary.
How damaging this bill will be to their quality of life.
Critics of the budget bill signed into law Friday cite a multitude of objections. Here are some of them and what the text of the law says.
A lot of people are going to lose Medicaid funding with this bill.
That's the federal health program for the poor. Democrats claim almost 12 million people will lose health care. The bill doesn't change the income eligibility requirements. Instead, it imposes new requirements that critics say some people have difficulty complying with. It requires able-bodied recipients to work, attend school, or volunteer 80 hours a month. But critics say it's hard to know where to draw the line on who is disabled enough to be exempt from the work requirement. The bill also requires states to check for eligibility every 6 months to prevent people from double enrolling in more than one state's Medicaid program and remove illegal immigrants or others who don't qualify. It also makes changes to the Affordable Care Act that reduce federal funds to states that choose to cover immigrants who may not qualify under federal rules.
He's taken away so much from people. He's taken away food.
That's a reference to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, commonly called food stamps. As with Medicaid, the law doesn't change eligibility, but includes work requirements for able-bodied recipients and extends those work requirements from the current cutoff age of 54 to 64. It exempts pregnant women and parents with children younger than 14. It also limits eligibility to citizens and legal immigrants in most cases.
All right. Y'all heard all that shit? Like, it was longer. I had to cut that shit, or else that clip would have took over my whole episode. But we talking about $350 billion for immigration enforcement, climate cuts, military funding increase, SALT cap extended. It's just like, what? Do you know how many American citizens depend on these things? And it really makes you just question, like, what is the goal here? You know, are we really for the American people, or are we trying to control? Like, does Trump just want control? It pisses me off. For real. Project 25 is halfway done, and Kamala tried to tell us, you know, we didn't listen. Well, I listened, but she tried to tell us. She laid everything out, and I read over that. You feel me? Because I was really invested into this campaign because I knew what the outcome would be if the other party won. You feel me? And yeah, we're about 50% done with Project 2025. So yeah, I just say to my people, stay educated and keep elevating, because that's really the only way that we're going to survive this. You know, we stay educated, and if we keep elevating, get in those spaces that they're not used to seeing us so that we can make the change for our people. That's really what we need to do. Get in those spaces, y'all. We got to shake up the table a little bit, because shit is getting too crazy out here. Yeah. So I was going to move on to the Tyler Perry and Derek Dixon story, but we went a little overscheduled today. So we're going to pick that up in episode 3. I really don't want to go from the last story to another takedown story anyway. I think I'm tired. I'm just tired of all our black greats being taken down. So I think we're going to call it quits today, y'all. Let me see. Do I have time for one more story? Nah, I don't. It's all right, though. Episode 3, we'll pick this up. We're definitely going to cover the Tyler Perry and Derek Dixon story. Also want to talk about this AI situation and how AI and music is kind of blurring the lines of talent. I mean, the lines have been blurred, but AI is just going to be the cherry on the cake. But we're going to talk about all that and more. Episode 3. Again, I'm your boy Zay Moore. I want to thank you for tuning into the Zay Moore Podcast. We out.